you keep going. You carry on through the difficulty, and even when it feels like all the powers of hell are coming against you, keep going. That's what Jesus did. You know, right before he left this earth, we hear him praying the high priestly prayer, as it's called in John chapter 17. And Jesus actually called out to his Father, and he said, Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory that I had with you before the world existed. In other words, Jesus was saying, I'm down here on the earth in a human body. This is difficult. This is hard. I'm not being known for who I truly am. And I want to come back to you, Father. When I'm done with all I've accomplished here, I want to come back. I want to go home. I want to have my glory restored. Jesus knew that longing. And yet, what amazes me is that we hear him in Luke chapter 9, verse 51. The Bible says, when the days drew near for Jesus to be taken up, he set his face to go to Jerusalem. When the days drew near for him to be taken up where? To be taken up back to heaven. When the days drew near for him to rise from the grave and to ascend back to heaven, to have the glory restored to him that rightfully belonged to him. When those days drew near for him to go home and be with his Father again, everything that he longed for, the Bible says, ironically, that he set his face to go to Jerusalem. Jerusalem. That was the city where he would be crucified, where he would be rejected and tormented and killed for our sin. And so as much as Jesus wants to go home and be with his Father and be restored to his glory, he decides instead to set his face like flint, to head to the cross of Calvary, to go through unimaginable, emotional, physical, and spiritual pain that we will never know. He does that to save us on the road to being restored to glory. Let us look to Jesus. Even as we long to go to heaven, I long to be home. I long to know the glory that Jesus paid for. I long to know the real Shelley Prindle without sin, without hindrance of this curse on us. I long to be in heaven. But you know what? I'm going to set my face like flint to carry my cross for Jesus, to serve him no matter how difficult it is, to stay in this world and to do his will until he says it's time to rise, it's time to go. It's time to see the real you, Shelley, the real you that I paid for, without sin, in a new and glorified body, totally restored. Meanwhile, we will persevere. I'm encouraging you, my friend, this morning. You keep going. Every power of hell may have come against you. You may feel completely discouraged, completely tired, and you just want to go home. Be like Jesus. Serve the Father. Do the will of God. And I promise you, one day, just like Jesus, we will go home because of what he's done for us. Serve him now. Serve him now. This is Shelley Prindle of Hope and Passion Ministries, and I'm praying for you.